We're live and on time because Watkins' computer was all updated. It's two dads and a podcast machine. It's our second ever episode. I'm your host, Brent Piles.
And I'm Michael Watkins. How you doing, buddy?
Man, I'm doing okay. How about you?
I'm doing just fine. Let me tell you, my computer does need uploads. When I was turning it on and I was just figuring stuff out tonight before I jumped on, it said, do you want to update and shut down or update and restart? And I chose not to do neither because we all know what rabbit hole that goes down to.
You're like, I will take C, please. No.
How about nothing? Nothing at all, sir. Thank you for playing.
How about we don't do any of that? I don't want to take any of those.
Let me tell you, I am so proud of my lawn right now. It looks great.
Your lawn?
My lawn looks great. Looks great. Okay. It's raining. It's raining a lot right now. I put seed down a couple weeks ago. It's nice and green. It looks just phenomenal. It's a shame it took to the end of the year for it to look good.
It took until almost October. Hey, at least it'll look nice when there's trick-or-treating, if they're allowing trick-or-treating in your neighborhood, that is.
Oh, we're allowing trick-or-treating in our neighborhood, and it'll be so much fun with having a newborn as well as a 1.5-year-old.
Oh yeah, that's right, because the new one will be here by then. What have you picked out the little one's name yet? Is it Michael Watkins Jr.?
It will not be Michael Watkins Jr. I will say the name once he's here. But yeah, we do have a name all ready to go.
Marini wants you to know that your son, he's going to be a future Hall of Famer. The rest of your family's already in, but the baby's got to earn. The baby's got to earn it first. We can't just let him in anyway.
But anyway, we are the two dads. This is the podcast machine. We're just recapping what we did last week. We're talking everything from sports all the way up to kids, my lawn, amongst other things. So jump on in the comments right now. Tell us what's up. Say hi. Anything you guys want to talk about, just even if we're not even talking about the subject full. And I mean, there's a lot of garbage on TV tonight that, what better place to be than with me and you, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know what's on Tuesday night. The MLB playoffs did just start. I don't know if that's a sore subject for you because Phillies did not make it.
They didn't make it, and everybody still has a job, which just befuddles me.
Yeah, I don't really move the team
anywhere.
Yeah, I don't get why how you can have that much. You guys got a talented roster. You should be able to make it to the playoffs, especially when half the league makes it. You know what I mean?
I know, really. It seems like it's almost like the NHL playoffs. Everybody, that's one of the digs on the NHL playoffs, which Tampa Bay Lightning last night won the Stanley Cup. Congrats on that. Won the Bubble Cup or the COVID Cup, whatever you want to call it. Very interesting. But the Phillies, there's always so high expectations, especially with landing Bryce Harper last season, just to have it end up like this with no bullpen whatsoever.
Yeah, that's got to be very frustrating, I can imagine. The mayor, Dave Trentman here, who is a sandbagger at fantasy football, correct?
He freaking killed me. And I had Mahomes get 60 points last night, and I still lost by like 40.
I had Mahomes in my other league. I was down by 25 points. Mahomes took care of that in the first half, so no big deal. He says he wishes that the Indians didn't make the playoffs after watching the game so far. Yeah, they were getting. I think it was like 6-2 when I came up here to start this. DT is the worst. Oh, Dave Trentman is the worst. I'm sorry. You lost me on that one for 1 second, Marini, but now I get it.
He has so many names. I mean, he's the mayor. I mean, he's David. Hi, I'm Dave. Something along those lines. Which is a great show, by the way.
I've never watched that show. I think I told you that before, but I have never watched that show.
Yeah, you did. I'm surprised you haven't watched it. It's like right up your alley.
Yeah, I've heard that from a couple of people. A buddy of mine told me that it was a really good show too. Most of the time, I don't watch it just because my 15-year-old son's room's in like here's our living room, and his room's like it's like a dining room area. It's really Rachel's office, and so any moment he could come out and catch whatever I'm watching on TV. And I'm sure he's probably seen worse on Netflix, but I don't want him to catch me watching Hi, I'm Dave. I don't think I would be ready to explain that.
The mayor's name is Jeff.
Yeah, that's the real swerve. Jeffrey David Mayer of Canton Trenton. That's a long ass name. I wouldn't try to sign that. Imagine trying to sign that. That would be the worst.
He's like a CIA agent.
Yeah, he is. You can't trust that Mayer. Him and Steve are both undefeated in our fantasy football league, which is complete bullshit.
It's 2020, man. Anything's possible if Steve's winning something.
Twice. He's won something twice, too. And he beat me in beer pong.
But anyway, football. Staying with fantasy football. Your squad, the Bears, 3-0. Look at that. I thought they were dead to rights on Sunday, the Falcons.
Yeah, so me too, man. Like, so I have like a projector, and I had it up on the ceiling, and me and my son were watching on the ceiling after Trubisky threw that interception where the Atlanta guy just stepped right in front of it. Luckily, Mitch Trubisky, though, did make a game-saving tackle, keeping him out of the end zone because he was on his way. I just turned it off. I said, that's it. I turned it off. But as you know, as a sports fan, you always got to turn it back and see. And then I saw they were putting Foles in, and I'm like, oh, they're going to put Foles in, then maybe I'll stick this thing out and see where it goes. So I did quit on it for like 4 minutes.
Foles.
But he only kept the visor on for a little while. He had it for a couple series, and then he took it off.
I'd never seen him wear a visor before ever. So I was kind of shocked to see him go. My wife now thinks you're going to win the Super Bowl.
I mean, I've always liked your wife. She's a smart lady, so I feel like you probably are going to win the Super Bowl now. So, actually, I don't think we're even. I couldn't hear you there, pal. Just try that one more time.
No, I'm sorry. I'm talking over you. That's why.
It's all good.
Mayor says his name isn't Facebook friendly. It's LBD or BDN. I'm sorry, BDN.
Hashtag BDN, and you could put that together for yourself. If not, Google it. My niece
I'm
Caitlin
sure my wife, she's watching right now. She'll comment it.
My niece Caitlin has beaten me in beer pong as well, so I guess I got it. That's not fair though. She's in her 20s. She should beat me in beer pong. You know what I mean?
I've always been a bad beer pong player. It never gets. A lot of people are like, "Oh, when I start drinking, it gets better." I
Boom,
still
there
suck.
it is.
There she is, right there.
There she is, right there. She's an AWI Hall of Famer. Your wife's a smart lady. But you can't have him back now because he's the Bears starting quarterback now, which I'm excited about. I'm just hoping that we can win a fucking game. I'm just hoping that we can win a fucking game without almost giving me a heart attack. I know, but without almost giving me a heart attack. Like, can we just win 24-0 against somebody? I don't want to come back every single game. Well, they didn't in the second game, but still.
I mean, what I think is that the NFL this year is just going to be a little bit, sideways because there was no training camp. There was no preseason games. I mean, there was training camp, but let's face it wasn't real training camp. Guys are dropping like flies, Barkley, Boza, Dallas Goedert for the Eagles has a fracture in his ankle. So, I mean, it's going to be a lot different because there's basically no practice. I mean, the guys are just jumping in and going full steam.
Yeah, definitely a good way to get yourself hurt. I got to ask you, I saw you before we started this thing. What are you drinking there, pal?
Water. I am.
Oh, is it just water? Okay, I thought you were drinking like moonshine out of a mason jar like you were a hillbilly or something.
You know what it is? This is so easy to keep your water content straight for the day because it's got the little 24, so you know how many you're drinking. So the only thing is you drink enough of these, you run into the bathroom like 65,000 times a day.
Do hungry dogs run faster? Not anymore.
Not in Philadelphia. They're full.
Apparently not. They're full and they are sleepy. That is probably correct. They won though, didn't they? They ended up beating the Redskins, didn't they? No, they played.
They're 0-2-1. They tied.
I got week one mixed up.
Not only did they tie the Bengals, they played for a tie. It was confirmed by the coach the next day that they played for a tie.
What?
Because they were scared of rookie Joe Burrow.
They were scared. They were scared of old Joe Burrow, huh? The guy who wanted to come to Nebraska. I'm still sad about that.
Yep. And Gags, it's real easy to drink water. It makes the day go by fast better.
He said, "Why?" He said, "How the hell do How the hell do you say water like that? Well, he said, how the hell do you say water like that?
It's easy. It just comes out. It just feels so good coming off the lips.
Like this. Water. Your wife's my favorite listener of the show thus far.
Yeah, she's just a barrel of laughs sometimes.
She really is. She really is. The NBA Finals are starting soon. You're not a basketball guy, are you?
I'm not a basketball guy, but just like any entertainment and liking sports, I will watch the finals. I hope the Heat win. So yeah. It would be nice if the Lakers won because of Kobe passing away in January and all that. Right. But I'm not a LeBron guy. When that Jordan debate, and we've had the Jordan LeBron debate before, you and I.
Yeah.
I just can't root for him. I don't like the way he plays the game. You never saw Jordan acting like he was shot 16 times on the floor, from a guy just walking, breathing on him.
That's fair. That's fair. I would like to see the Heat win just because I really like Jimmy Butler. He, of course, used to play for the Bulls. He used to play for the Sixers. Tons of heart. That kid came from nothing. He was like a 29th overall pick out of Marquette, and he built himself into a superstar. And they got a lot of good players on the team. Bam is a beast. Tyler Hero, who I said some very discouraging things about when they drafted him. I was like, oh, they could have got somebody better. But look, I was wrong. Don't listen to me. So it'd be great if Miami can win, but I just can't see them. Not so much LeBron, but Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is just too dynamic. A guy his size, he can get to the basket, he can shoot the three. Even Bam's not going to be able to hold him every single game. So, and then if he doesn't, LeBron, you saw what LeBron did in the closing game against Denver. He put up like 36 and he got a triple-double. So, yeah, I think it'll probably be 5-6 games, but I think the Lakers are. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, I do think the Lakers will win. I would like to see the Heat win just because I want to see Jimmy Butler stuff it in the Sixers' face for just letting him walk because they felt that Ben Simmons didn't need him to be successful, which I find is highly false. Or he didn't get along with Joel Embiid, which again I think is highly false. I just think that organization is in shambles. Anthony Davis is actually a wonderful player to watch. He's a great player to watch. I enjoy watching him. I agree with you. I think it'll be 5 games. It seems like LeBron has been making quick work of teams this postseason, and I think it just continues on. And I think the Heat are a little tired. They just went through a battle with Boston, even though they won it in 6. It was still a battle because Boston's a very physical, and it's soda, Caitlin. It's not pop.
We call it pop here in Nebraska. And your wife says that maybe she said the Eagle sucks and you can start baking cakes on Sundays at 1 p.m. instead. And, I love that idea because I don't know about you, but I love cake. You do my cooking. I can't bake. I suck at baking because baking requires precise measurements, and that's just not something I can handle. I like a punch of salt. A punch of salt? That's funny.
What did I say? Pinch?
No, I thought you said punch. I thought you said a punch of salt. Like you're gonna punch the salt. I was like, why would we punch the salt?
It's from Donnie Brasco.
Oh, I've never seen that movie.
You never seen Donnie Brasco? Oh man, forget about
it. Forget about it. Marini knows all about that. She talks like that all the time. She knows it's true too. She knows.
So what else is happening, man? What's going on in Nebraska?
Not a whole lot. There's not too much going on in Nebraska. We are anxiously awaiting the Cornhuskers to come back. That's what we're waiting for here in Nebraska.
When does the Big Ten football season start? Is that the 24th? Is when they start?
Yeah, October the 24th. We will kick off the season against Ohio State. We got them right where we want them, Watkins, because it's the first game.
Now, speaking of quality of play, this is have they been practicing? Have they been working out? What's the deal with college football? Or does it look like the season's been canceled?
Yeah, well, it was canceled, and then I think what happened was the Big Ten thought they were like, well, if we cancel, then everybody else is going to cancel. But then they canceled, and everybody else besides the Pac-12 was like, well, we're going to play, and they were like, oh, you guys are going to play. And then the funny thing about it was when they said that they were going to cancel, Nebraska was saying, well, we're going to find a way to play. And they were like, well, if you do that, we'll kick you out of the Big Ten. But then Ohio State wants to play. And then it's like, oh, well, now it's different because it's Ohio State. I mean, it's money. I get it. But I don't think that they're able to start practicing in full pads until Friday, I think it might be correct. That's what I heard, at least. It's Friday they'll be able to start in full pads. So they've had practices and workouts, but they haven't done full pads.
So what are they doing in the meantime? Running sprints with Farmer Fran?
Yes, they are definitely running sprints with Farmer Fran in the hayfields. They're also pushing wheelbarrows with corn inside of it because somebody's got to. Yeah. Your wife made a great point about cakes. They don't end in a tie.
They don't end in a tie. They end up being gone when you eat them all. Which is, I've just been eating everything in sight over the past couple of weeks, and it's just getting out of control, which is why I'm drinking water and not alcohol.
That's fair. Yeah, it's empty calories, man, especially at your age.
I know. You know, ever since I turned 32, that's when it went downhill. That's when anything that I would just wouldn't go away.
I can't relate, pal. I'm 36 and I couldn't gain a pound if I wanted to. So
our gyms are open in Nebraska, right?
Yeah, they're open. Yeah.
So they just opened here in Jersey not too long ago. And I haven't gone yet because it's just it's only a certain capacity. And it's just hard during my work day to get there and go. But like even the motivation to go, since I haven't gone in so long, it's gone less than zero right now. And that's something that I have just struggled with.
Yeah. Once you stop doing that, it's hard to get off it. Your wife Nicole wants to talk about can we talk about how long it takes to get wait in between oil changes? How long do you usually wait, Watkins?
Well, I usually wait. It's usually, I think for me, it's like 6,000 miles, or 50% oil life. That's when I do that. But she's bringing it up because she hasn't had one in a year because she hasn't really been driving her car.
Oh, that's fair.
So I said to her, I was like, you better go get that done. And, or at least like make an appointment. We'll drop it off and go pick it up later on in the day. Cause it's been a year. Cause when I went to put the car in the garage, I'm like, I looked at the sticker and I was like, that's way too long. That's way too long. So, and I think mine needs one done. So what is it? What's the rule of thumb? Is it, cause I know some people say 3,000, some people say 6,000.
I think it's supposed to be 3. I mean, do I really do it at 3? No. You know when I know it's time to get an oil change? When my wife says, hey, you need to get your oil changed, and then I go get the oil changed. That's how it works. My sister said 5 years.
5 years? I guess she doesn't drive that.
I don't think 5 years is the answer, Kelly. I don't think that's the answer. You better...
my very first car, I blew up on the Atlantic City Expressway driving home from the shore because I never got the oil change in it, and it blew up. And the funny story is my grandfather had to push. My grandfather was behind me, and he witnessed it blowing up, and then it was right by a toll booth, and he had to push me with his car through the toll booth to get to the side of the road. Not one of my brightest.
What a fun story. Good thing Grandpa was there to save you, Grandpa Watkins. The mayor said full synthetic can drag you out for a full year or 10,000 miles if you want to stretch it a bit. So apparently the mayor's really good at fantasy football, and he knows a lot about fucking cars. So there's that. You're right, though. You said 6,000 unless your car is in 1972. Somebody's probably driving.
Car's that old. I got a 75.
Did you? Wow. Well, you were born in 75. I had a
75 Trans Am. I wasn't born in 75. I'm not that old.
That sounds badass, actually. Did you have T-tops?
Yeah, it had T-tops. It had T-tops. When I got it, it was Smurf blue. It was powder blue, both inside and out. It was after I blew up my first Trans Am, my 85 Trans Am, that I got that one. And my father looked at me when my father took me to see it, and I looked at the color. I go, "Do you see what color it is?" He's like, "Don't worry, we'll take care of it." When he said "we'll take care of it," meant that Super Bowl Sunday, Packers, Broncos.
Yeah, they lost.
Yeah, Packers, Broncos. The whole day of stripping the original paint, wet sanding it, and sanding the car so it could be primed, and then we got it painted. But yeah, we'll take care of it. That's what we did.
Did you get to watch the Packers lose that Super Bowl though?
We had it on, and this goes back to how old I was. It was just a little TV. Remember those little small TVs you would put in a kitchen? It would fit right underneath the counter, like between the cabinets and the counter. Yeah, that's what we did. That's how we watched it.
It had a cigarette lighter adapter. It had a cigarette light adapter, so you'd watch it in the car.
Yeah.
Even though you couldn't get any fucking channels anyway.
You know, I found this in my truck. I found my cigarette lighter. It's like way underneath the dashboard, like away. Those suckers used to be right there on the steering wheel for you, just because everybody had them. Everybody smoked. Yeah. Now it's all the way under because everybody got you.
Remember when the cars had the little ashtrays in the back seat where you could ash your cigarettes in the little ashtrays in the back seat? Yep. Does Nebraska get a lot of snow? And does much snow require a snowblower versus a shovel? I've never bought a snowblower. We typically do get a good amount of snow here. But no, I've never used a lawnmower. Lawnmower. I've never used a snowblower. I usually shovel. So, well, I don't have to use anything anymore. I have a 15-year-old son. Just make him do it.
I know. That's great. That's great. That's what my father had for a number of years. When we've been in this house now for about 4 years. Yeah, it is next. The tape player, I'll go back to the tape player, but snowblower, she asked because I'm in the transition of taking the snowblower out of the shed and moving into the garage, and it gets its one of its 2 times a year starts, testing it, making sure it withstand the summer. And then I test it again to drain all of like the little bit of gas I put in it because I haven't used it. We haven't gotten barely any snow here.
Oh, really? I mean, we got a lot less last year than we usually get. We usually get a pretty good amount of snow. We usually get one bad snowstorm. That's it?
That's it. We usually get at least one that dumps, foot plus.
Yeah.
But since for the past 4 years, going over 5, we haven't gotten anything. So I spent that money on a snowblower and nothing has happened.
You know what? You need to sell that bitch. Now let's get back to your wife said you got a tape player in your car, motherfucker. What year is this?
No, she's referring to my car. My one of my Trans Ams I used to have. I had a tape player in it, and that was when it had a cassette tape, and it had like a little jack on it, and then you put the tape in, and you had a portable CD player that you could play CDs in.
Yep, absolutely, pal.
I don't know if anybody remembers that, but I had one of those.
I absolutely remember those, pals. I definitely used one of those before. You had to watch the bumps though because you didn't want the CD player to skip.
I know. It was great. It was great. Used to I still have some of the CDs that I have from when I was 17. So when you look at them, they're just all jacked up on the other side of them now.
Do they work at all?
They did. Do they work? Yeah, they work. Because when I got a new phone recently, I had to re-put all the music on because I got a new computer, which is this lovely thing I'm working on right now, and it's been so good to me for the past year. Not really. And I literally, what was the one CD I pulled out the other day? I think it was Aerosmith, 9 Lives. I put songs on that, and I've had that since I was like 16 or 17.
Aerosmith, huh? I'm not an Aerosmith guy. Sorry.
I'm not either, but it's just nostalgia. I mean, half the shit I put on there, it was just pure nostalgia.
Okay. I get it. Yeah. I was going to ask you this. I was talking about this with Steve and Erica when we were doing. a show the other night. Have you watched Cobra Kai yet? Have you watched that yet?
I've watched the first couple episodes when I think we talked about this last week. It was when it was on YouTube for free. They give you the first couple episodes. Yeah, because remember I told you my brother-in-law started watching it. He didn't finish it. Have you been watching it?
I've watched both the seasons already. Yeah.
How is it?
It took one episode. I watched one episode and I was like, oh my God. And I think I watched 6 after that. And then it would get to the point where I would watch 5 or 6 episodes in a row, and I'm like, it's fucking 2 a.m. I need to go to bed. That's how good it was.
I need a show like that, man. I'm tired. Like everybody has great referrals. Like my wife and I got really good ones, but they're all about like killing and kidnapping or drug, but like Ozarks, prime example. Ozarks, I think we got through halfway through the first season because we watched it at night after our son goes to bed, because that's like the only time we have to watch TV. It's probably why we watch Bravo all the time. But I don't really feel like somebody getting beaten or shot 1,000 times before I fall asleep.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like fun.
I need something that's kind of mindless, which is why I fall asleep to Family Guy half the time. But Cobra Kai seems like something I can do. They're coming out with a video game for that. There's a video game coming out.
A video game? Are you kidding me?
Dead serious.
Wow.
There's a video game coming out.
Wow, they had remember the Karate Kid game? I
had it for Nintendo.
Yeah, for the Nintendo. I was just gonna ask you that. The Nintendo Karate Kid game? That was a great game, man.
Used to have to get the flies with the chopsticks.
Yep. What a great game, man. The mayor's a big fan. Best show possibly ever. It's a really good show. I love it. Really good.
I'm going to check it out. I need something to watch. There's not a new Housewives on for another couple weeks until that kicks back up again. So I'm going to need something to. Oh, yeah, man. I get sucked right into it.
Yeah.
Oh, man. The shit that's going on with Potomac right now. New York just ended. Beverly Hills just ended. Orange County starting up again. Salt Lake City's another one now. Deal me in.
So in Salt Lake City, all the housewives are married to one guy, right? I'm sorry.
Exactly. Don't worry. I already thought of it when I heard they were coming out. I was like, so it's going to be boring. They're all Mormon.
So here, true story. I was probably... This is probably 13, 15. No, it's probably 12 years ago because my youngest son was just a baby at this time. And I went outside to check the mail. We're living in an apartment complex, and these Mormon people literally came up to me, and they were like, "Hey, can we talk to you about the Book of Mormon?" And I'm like, "Okay, let me ask you a question. You guys can have multiple wives, right?" They're like, "Yeah." Not. They were kind of like, well. Some places do, but whatever. And I'm like, well, what would be the point of having multiple wives if you couldn't drink, right? How could you have 6 wives and not be able to drink? That would be the worst.
Oh, it would be. It would be. Do you know, they have to give, and fact check me if I'm wrong, anybody out there. I'm pretty sure Andy Reid, when he would sign his extensions with the Eagles, they wouldn't disclose the terms because he had to give a portion of it to the Church of Mormon.
Really? Wow. I did not know that. It's crazy.
Yeah. So,
the Real Housewives of Palmyra, Nebraska would be a great. Where did you pull out Palmyra, Nebraska from? Where'd you get that from? How does he know about Palmyra, Nebraska?
Dude, I'm telling you, he is CIA. He's got 16 names, knows everything. He's MacGyver's long lost son.
I can't not believe he just pulled out Palmyra, Nebraska. That's amazing.
I mean, Palmyra. He eats whatever he wants. It just drinks whatever he wants. I mean,
whatever.
He's drinking banned alcoholic beverages. Damn right he knows everything, a little bit about everything.
You don't have to tell us, pal. Apparently. Wow. Amazing.
I mean, I know a lot of useless knowledge. I know a lot about Bravo. Ask me anything about Housewives, I'm going to tell you the answer. Ask me how to drill a screw into a wall, which I tried to do this weekend, and I'm not very good at it.
No, me neither, pal. I'm with you on that one. You know what? My only talent is I can remember song lyrics easily, and I can ask me any wrestling question, and I know the answer. The mayor and Marini and Steve will tell you this. I don't know why, but this thing retains so much useless wrestling knowledge. I don't know why, but any wrestling question, I probably know the answer to.
Yeah, I mean, I could probably tell you. Ask me anything about baseball cards in the '90s, and I could tell you who was on them, what pose they were doing. I can probably reenact the pose, but other than that, I'm useless.
That sounds like a fun show idea. I'm going to wrangle up a bunch of old baseball names. You're going to have to show me their poses.
That would be pretty interesting. My wife can't wait to drink. Yeah, she's got 4 weeks left.
I bet she can't. Bless her heart.
I mean, how would you feel if you couldn't drink and you had to be in a house with me and an 18-month-old all day long?
No, thank you. That sounds like the worst thing ever. And you have to be an Eagles fan? God, forget about it.
Well, I mean, she roots. I remember when we first started dating, she used to root against the team that I rooted for on purpose. Like if the Flyers are playing the Rangers and the Rangers were winning, or the Penguins is the biggest example. Whenever the Flyers play the Penguins, because I just can't stand the Penguins, she would be like, "Oh, the Flyers are losing 5-4. Ooh, Watkins, what are you gonna do about that?" Just
amazing.
Me off. Like, why you gotta do that?
Caitlin, who won between the Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior? You know not to go there. I cried that day. You know not to go there. Come on, Jesus, don't make me relive it. It was a sad day in my life. The day Hulk Hogan lost to the Ultimate Warrior. It was very sad.
So, dude, you brought up Halloween. Do your kids still go out trick or treating?
Xavier is a solid no. He is 15, a sophomore in high school, and way too cool to go trick or treating. Bryson's 12, and I don't know. I'm trying to talk him into it. So, the neighborhood we used to live in was kind of sketchy, and we moved to a new neighborhood this year, and so I just wanted to get him out there because it's like the neighborhood that I lived in as a kid, and so I want to take him out trick or treating like I used to when I was a kid. So, I guess we'll see what happens. And Nebraska plays Wisconsin that day too, which I forgot about.
Oh, that's right. Halloween's on a Saturday this year. With Xavier, it was Atlanta Braves. Yeah, it was. With Xavier, though, he doesn't just put on his football jersey and go around with a backpack on like the kids do in my neighborhood.
Nope. He's too cool for that, I guess.
That's what they literally, the one kid drives them around. They get out of the car and hit 4 houses at once with backpacks on. And you put the candy in their backpack. The one kid had a phone on. He was talking on his phone last year. And I was like, I am not giving you anything while you're talking on your phone.
Get the hell out. I'm throwing candy on the lawn like birdseed and letting the savages go after it. I want to see a video of this. I want to see a video of this, please. That sounds amazing.
Great. But I'm sure we'll talk about Halloween more. We have a month to it.
Yep, we still got a whole month. Well, Watkins, I think that the kids that look 13 at the mayor's house are getting green bean candies, so that's got to be terrible. I
actually would enjoy that.
Really? Have you watched Steve and Steve's video of him and his daughter eating the candy corn? Oh. Did you watch that?
The turkey dinner candy corn?
Yeah, that's what the mayor means when he says that.
Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah.
That was bad. I don't know how and I saw them in the supermarket today too, and I immediately thought of that video and was just like, oh no, thank you. And I like candy corns.
Marini said she promises you won't like the green bean candies. She promises. She knows too. They don't have them at the store here. We looked. She did. We don't have them at the stores here. Me and Rachel looked. Thank God they didn't have them, or else my fucking ass have been eating them on YouTube too. So I'm glad I didn't have to eat those.
I'm a huge candy corn fan too, and just the fact they came out with that is just disgusting.
Of all the candy choices in all the world, if you pick candy corn, you're a psycho. You're crazy. You're nuts. Who likes candy corn? It's disgusting.
I don't know. I like my son's first Halloween costume. My son that's about to be born is going to be a candy corn.
Well, that's awesome. I will take that away. That's awesome. Watkins, what do you guys call a place? Okay, can you buy beer at like a grocery store at the gas station where you live?
Not at a gas station. There are a handful of supermarkets that have alcohol. Not most of them.
Okay.
When you go, it's weird because I live right on the Jersey-Pennsylvania border. When you go into Pennsylvania, you can't buy beer from a liquor store. It's only a wine and spirit store. You have to go to the distributor, and they're not open on Sundays.
Damn, that sucks.
But, yeah, I was. It's kind of nice when I would go to New York to visit my cousins and relatives. You walk into a 7-Eleven, you can grab a nice tall boy of Miller High Life. It's beautiful.
Miller High Life is disgusting. Yeah, you can buy beer literally anywhere. You get it at CVS, the grocery store, the gas station. They can sell it at McDonald's. I'm just kidding. They don't sell it at McDonald's. But you call it the liquor store. Like where you go to get the liquor, you call it the liquor store. You don't call it a package store.
No, I don't call it a package store. I knew exactly what Mayor knew because going to college, everybody would be like, package store, liquor store, spirit shop. You know, there was always a bodega.
Oh yeah.
Yes, we have.
Say it with me now.
The Wawa don't carry alcohol.
Yeah. My niece Caitlin actually lived in PA for a couple years, so she's lived up in the East Coast region.
I think there's only one Wawa that has alcohol in it.
Really?
Pretty sure they try. Yeah, it's trying to break in a little more to the convenience stores. I would welcome it. I'd probably be drunk 24/7 if it was in Wawa, for sure.
Watkins is wasted at Wawa's again. I gotta call Nicole to come pick you up because you're wasted at Wawa's again.
Well, luckily, Wawa's around me are walking distance, so I wouldn't have to drive there.
Perfect. I never had Wawa's before. I've never been there.
You're not missing anything. The food isn't that great. It's really good if you're in a jam. Like there's been a couple times where we were running out of milk. There's no point in going to a supermarket just for milk. Wawa, done.
Okay. Wawa Watkins. Hashtag that shit. That's not gonna get any better than that. No, you haven't?
No, I haven't.
That's like my last name is Piles, and it's like, hey, Piles of shit. Yeah, good one. I never heard that one 100,000 times in my life, buddy. Good one. Nice work.
Just like Michael Motorcycle, turn the key, watch him pee. Never heard that one growing up either.
I never heard that shit in my life. Well,
because your name's not Michael.
I guess that's a good one. My name's Brent, which nobody made up anything good for that. Well, my last name is Piles. I didn't have to worry about my fucking first name, did they? Didn't have to worry about it. Didn't matter. All right, pal. I think that's going to do it for episode 2. We're going to thank everybody for joining us. Mostly David Trentman for dropping his knowledge and your wife for trolling you, which I love. That was amazing.
There should be a camera on me 24/7 because that's what it is 24/7 around here.
Oh boy, that's good. Watkins, if someone wanted to follow the show on Twitter, how could they do that?
They can follow it on @DadsMachine. And I believe it's Dad's Machine on Instagram and Facebook as well, correct?
Yep, it is. On Instagram it's Dad's Machine, and on Facebook it is Dad's Machine as well. Thank you guys for joining us. You can follow him on Twitter @MichaelWatkins7, or you can follow me @PilesClash. Like I said last week, my account is private. I will let you follow me. Unless you're an asshole, then you gotta go. But anyway, that's going to do it from us, and we will talk to you next week.
See you.
Yeah, you got to pick up like a howl or something.